Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Wednesday. It is Self-Care Wednesday on the Aloha Perspective. Typically, it is Self-Care Wednesday. It is also Valentine's Day, and it is also every other word that might come with Valentine's Day. It's funny because last year I did a whole show on Valentine's Day and all the fun facts, and it's not just a holiday cards companies made up. It's actually a thing that goes into history. But the Hallmark just managed to market the shit out of it and make it what it is today. But that being said, because of all of that, I think we really put far too much into this day. And I'm not saying that because I'm single. I'm saying that because I see people, the married people I know, they usually celebrate Valentine's the day before, the day after, or they get takeout and take it home and just hang out because, if you're in a relationship, if you're with somebody, every day may not feel like Valentine's, but every day should be filled with that love, should be filled with, doing nice little things for each other, or, even just, hey, can I hug you, or just having that affection. And that doesn't mean you have to be overly affectionate every day. I mean, yeah, Valentine's is kind of like the steroid of love on this particular day where you might be feeling a little, woo, I'm a little over the moon for you today. But for the single people out there who might be single like me, I know it's hard. And I'll be honest with you, I really stopped thinking about it. I plan things with older sibling. Today we were supposed to have breakfast with my dad. It didn't work out because they're both under the weather. And so, it was just going to be my joke if somebody asked me what I did today, or just say, a man bought me a meal. I have no shame. But it's like, and not elaborate on that and be like, oh, really? And then that's where you give them the punchline, right? Yeah, it was my dad. But anyway, so I had to pivot today. So today I'm deciding what I'm going to do, and it better be good because I don't want to disappoint myself. But maybe I'll even give myself a card. Now, on the bright side, I made my dad chocolate covered strawberries, and he lives in San Diego. So since I'm not going to see him today, guess who gets to eat them? Older sibling and me. And she approved yesterday, so whew, okay. So my first, how do you mess up chocolate strawberries? But they were my first attempt, and I do know that for future reference, they could be prettier. I know, but all the strawberries were different. Anyways, today's show, I pulled 3 cards this morning. And I decided that I was going to talk about each one over the next 3 days because I thought 3 cards in one day is a bit much. So I thought, you know what, I'll just talk about them over the next 3 days. For those of you who'd like to show up for Oracle Friday, that's going to be sporadic. It's either going to be every other week or every couple of weeks, okay? But we're going to talk about these, and I'm not going to tell you what these cards are. I have started this show over 3 times because something keeps happening around me or my brain stops working. And the card that initially came up was love. Surprisingly, I thought it would be something different. I thought it would be a different card in that deck that would come out today. But no, love came out. So love, even though it does have a definition, is really to me like a feeling, right? Love is a feeling. It's something we feel towards something. It's not just romantic love. It can be family love. It could be familial love. Oh, I just said that, right? Family love. Familial just sounds so much better. It could be pet baby love. It could be romantic love. It could be friendship love, sibling love, parent love, all that stuff. It could just be this bond that you have with people. To me, love is very much associated to the word aloha, which can mean love in its own definition, but the word aloha has so many different translations as well, like to how we see it, that really it's a feeling, right? I read a book once that really kind of, it was my aha moment. Like, yes, that's exactly it. When I read that, aloha isn't just a word, it's a feeling. It's a feeling. And that's really kind of what it feels like, is that feeling of love. When you see the bumper sticker that says live aloha, live love, go in aloha, go in love. Go with the flow. And I know it can be hard, especially when you're single. Look, I get it. Being single is not easy, especially around these days. And you see people, getting together to do their things. Maybe you see new couples, and I want to know. This is something I want to know. I want to hear from people who have met their person on Valentine's Day. I actually know someone born on this day. One of the kids, well, he's not a kid anymore. He's an adult, but I know. Where'd the time go, right? Just like that. But today's his birthday, and so happy birthday to you. And but I think we put too much into the day itself if we are single, or even if we're in a couple. People expect people to just be so extravagant and do the world for them. I think if somebody that I get it for maybe like a date in a new relationship. It might be like, oh, I want to impress. Just be grateful, be grateful. At my age, I've been in several relationships, 2 of them long-term, and this is years ago. And at my age, I still have not had a Valentine's date. So pick well as well. Don't just jump into a relationship because you want to celebrate all these different things. You have to work your way into this. And I know when it does happen, if it happens, it'll be great. But to be honest with you, my ideal Valentine's date is a movie at home with takeout, or going for a drive or sitting on a beach, or just, it doesn't have to be something elaborate. And if you are into the elaborate thing, that's okay. That's okay. That's you. But, just be appreciative, be grateful. Because, there are a lot of people out there who sit there and go like, oh, well, it wasn't that great. The person may have done everything for them, and I'm not saying girls or guys. I'm saying either or. Okay, like they'll just complain because it wasn't up to their standards. So, just go into something with your eyes open, your heart open, and your mind open, and enjoy it. Enjoy it because, somebody has done something for you. And if you are single, pivot, do something fun for yourself, do something wonderful for you, something lovely for you. I was supposed to have breakfast with dad and older sibling today, but they're both under the weather, so I'm pivoting, and I'm either going to go to the movies or go to the beach, or I'm going to go somewhere. I'm going to do something today. I'm going to take myself out, and I'm not going to disappoint myself. I said earlier on my Twitter post, I better do good because I don't want to disappoint myself. But whatever I do, I'm not going to disappoint myself. I'm going to just do it and have a good time doing it. So let's get to the love card. Now, I don't use this deck very often. Now, see, this is funny. I'm not going to show you the card because I want it to be a surprise. But believe it or not, the card I opened up to, that one, is the one I thought was going to come out today. So I must really be manifesting that. So like I said, I don't always use this deck. I do from time to time, but I use it more for journaling. And when I'm going through something, it kind of helps me with a prompt. So these cards are going to be, some of them I haven't seen. So I don't know what to expect from some of these, So let's just jump right in, and we're going to do this together, okay? We're going to break the seal on this card, because this card I have never had before, and it's love. So let go of your limiting beliefs about love. Your heart desires more connections, love, and nourishment. You're at a point in your life where you need to learn how to truly give and receive love. Fully opening your heart will awaken your vulnerability, sensitivity, and fear. In particular, your fear of rejection and intimacy with another person. However, you will also unleash your passion, inspiration, greatness, and an ability to care deeply. Start seeing how great life is and be willing to connect to others. If you have been holding on to past pain, then it is time to acknowledge, feel, and move forward. Give yourself permission to let people in. Ask for love with all your heart and soul, and it will come. Look for something beautiful in every person you encounter. Focus on feeling good. Whenever you see people loving each other and know this is whenever I'm so sorry. Focus. This is what you get with a live. I mean, this is live. Anything can happen. Focus on feeling good whenever you see people loving each other and know this is coming to you in a form of a love of a lifetime or an incredible friendship. Oh, I see. I think I was adding words. Let me try that again. Actually, you know what? There is an action on this, and we're going to do the action. But first, I want to go by this paragraph by paragraph, okay? So, let go of your limiting beliefs about love. When we move towards relationships, now, I'm just going to preface this with the fact that I've done a lot of trauma healing, and a lot of my trauma healing really kind of gave me a skewed view on love, okay? And it really kind of, it broke me and it shut me down, and I put up a lot of walls. And so a lot of these walls have come down now. So the relationships I have been in the past, were not the healthiest. And so, to be honest with you, sometimes I think I'm single because I'm afraid of, well, you know what, I'll get to that in the second paragraph. So you desire your, here we go with the live again. Let go of your limiting beliefs about love. Your heart desires more connections, love, and nourishment. You're at a point in your life where you need to learn how to truly give and receive love. Now, you know, when you go through this stuff, especially if you've been through things that I've been through, or even just a lot of heartbreak, you know, you don't have to have the traumas I've been through to put up that wall. You may have had your heart broken so many times, you're just kind of like, I'm out, I'm over it, but I really want to be in love, right? So you have to learn how to receive that love. You have to use your instincts and your intuition to discern whether this is somebody you want to fall in love with. And by that I mean, if it feels like it's a lot of work, if it feels like it's really hard, if it feels like you are going in circles in a million different ways, talk to them, communicate. In my personal opinion, the biggest mistake people make in relationships is communicating with other people what they should be communicating with each other. Communication, trust, and, you know, and love are the biggest elements in a relationship. And you're probably sitting and going, Shelly Marie, you've been single for like 1,000 years. How would you know? Because when you're single, you have an outside view in. You get to see everything from the outside. And I tell you, there's a lot of things that I see that fall apart because there were not some of these main things. Communication and trust is going to be your biggest things. You have to have trust and communication. And so, you know, and you have to also be willing to open your heart. You have to be willing to know that you are not always going to be right in a relationship. You know, maybe there's a tension, maybe there's an issue, you know, you may not want to hear it, but, you know, all of us may have something that we need to tweak a little, because compromise is the third biggest thing that you have to have in a relationship. I know, I just remembered that now. I'm like, I know there's three things: communication, trust, and compromising. That's what makes a relationship work. Love is like the bonus. Love is the feeling, the beautiful feeling you get being together. But in order to maintain that love, you know, think of love as like a vehicle, or your body even. You know, you have to do things to maintain that healthiness of this feeling, of this vehicle that, you know, you're driving with somebody else. So, or even with yourself, you know, if you're struggling with a lot of different things, you know, I have to tell you, self-love is one of the cards, and that's the one I really thought was going to come up today. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow or Friday. I'm not telling you which day it's coming up because I have no idea which day it's coming up. But when we learn to love ourselves, we learn how to love others. And I think that's where I struggled, is my relationships, they struggled because I was putting my self-worth into somebody else's hands. I was putting my self-love into somebody else's hands. And I was, you know, seeing, you know, however they valued me or how little they valued me is how I felt about myself, you know, and that's not their fault. It's just some things weren't meant to be, you know, no matter how the situation started, no matter how it ended, everybody, you know, like I tried too hard, and because I thought that being with someone was what love was, because I didn't know how to love myself. I was literally pouring from an empty cup, from an empty teapot, from an empty ocean. All right. So, love. Fully opening your heart will awaken your vulnerability, sensitivity, and fear. In particular, your fear of rejection and intimacy with another person. However, you will also unleash your passion, inspiration, greatness, and an ability to care deeply. Now, I know I'm talking a lot about couples love, but this also goes for the single people like me, okay? Because whether you're in a relationship now, or maybe you will be, or maybe you're hoping to be, I personally feel, and I'm not sure, because like I said, my last relationships were not healthy ones. And they felt like it at the time, but when you look back and you start healing stuff, you're like, whoa, what did I do there? What choices did I make there? Because that's no bueno. So anyways, I think part of the reason that I struggle to be in a relationship is because, I do struggle with rejection and intimacy. And I think everybody struggles with rejection, but I struggle with intimacy because, again, because of the things I've had to heal in the past, and because my relationships in the past are going to be far different than any relationship I get into in the future, I have to learn how to trust the partner that chooses me and that I choose. So however that's going to work out, whenever I do end up in a relationship, I know that I'm going to have to trust them. And I know that, again, communication, trust, and compromise. So, I feel like I'm taking the baby steps as more as I'm going backwards. I'm crawling. It's like I was like running at it. Then I was like, And then I slowed down to a toddler walk, to a toddler crawl, to basically not being able to walk anymore because of the intimacy part with another person. Because, there's so many different things that you just feel like, will I be good enough? Am I going to fail at this? Am I going to have triggers? Is it going to be weird? Just all these things. And we overthink the shit out of things. And that's where we have to stop. We have to stop putting ourselves in these situations of anxiety and just trust the person. If you have picked a partner that you trust, then you have to trust that whatever step you're going to take next together is going to be the one that you both can move through together. Be the one that you can talk through, So, I have talked about dissociative behavior before, and that's a lot of times when you just kind of disappear in the moment, like a trigger might come up. And I looked that up because that actually happens during intimate moments with people who have struggled with trauma. So if you're a person who is dealing with someone with trauma, I don't want to say dealing with, but moving through a situation with someone with trauma, talk them through it. Okay, ask them what they're comfortable with. Eventually, your trust is going to grow. You have to drop the boundaries. You have to drop the wall if you're with someone that you are absolutely wanting to be with and that you trust, because that's the only way you can let them in and take that journey together. Because once you hit that intimacy part of that relationship, that is a journey that you're both taking together. And especially if, you have struggled in the past. So I know for me, I have to learn to just open my heart and receive, and to be okay with it, whatever's going to happen next, and to just trust it. And that's where I struggle. And so because I am so shy and I struggle to talk to people, I may just be a cat lady. I don't know. I know. I know, no pity parties, okay? I know I make it sound, oh, woe is me, but I have a good life. That will, if and when the relationship comes, it's going to be a bonus in my life. And I know it'll be a beautiful thing, because I am teaching myself these things. And it's something I think I know I need to communicate and be honest and trusting with. So if you're feeling like me, just know that when you get into something, and when something gets a little more serious and it starts moving into these things, towards these moments, these pivotal, highlighted landmark moments in a relationship, just know that, just if you trust them enough, and if you care about each other enough, hopefully they listen. So, because I'm telling you, when you let down your guard and you take down those walls and you have that complete trust in someone, I really do believe what it says right here. You will also unleash your passion, inspiration, greatness, and an ability to care deeply. because you are in something of mutual respect. All right. And if you're a kind of person that just goes for it at the beginning, I have no judgment. All right. I have no judgment at all. You go with your bad self. You do whatever it is you feel like you need to do. And sometimes it just happens, right? You click and you feel this. So, I mean, I don't know about that, but I know there's people out there who have. So you do you. All right. Now, again, start seeing how great life is and be willing to connect to others. If you have been holding on to past pain, then it is time to acknowledge, feel, and move forward. Let that shit go. Okay. Healing is hard, but holding on to pain is harder. Because you try to control every single aspect of your life. You project onto other people. You get aggressive towards other people because you're projecting, and your pain just managed to bitch slap everybody else around you. Hurt people. Okay? And it's not worth it. I've been there. I've done that. I have been the giver, the hurt person hurting people, because I was in so much pain. And that is not a side of me I like to revisit, but it's a side of me I share, because I know if I'm honest with people, people will start to look at themselves in the mirror and say, what do I need to fix to not lash out at people? I mean, I've been moody the last couple of days. Because there was a mix up in some of my medical stuff. So I've just been kind of free floating without some of my, like my thyroid meds, and the thyroid meds can affect a mood. Okay. That's an inherited trait. And full disclosure, I haven't been on my antidepressants. I'm doing okay when it comes to the deep, deep stuff, but I am a little cranky and I'm a little moody. So, and I've had to reel myself in a few times because, like I said, I don't want to go back to being that person. I don't want to be a person that walks around like a zombie either. So I try to balance everything out and live this beautiful life that I'm living. But I don't want to be that person that lashes out anymore, because that's not who I am. I worked very hard to heal my trauma, and I worked very hard to heal my pain. And I share my story for the people who want to be silent about theirs while they go on their healing journey. You don't have to share like me. I just share it to give other people, hopefully, the courage to look in the mirror and see what they need to heal inside. Not fix, heal. Okay, when we say fix, it sounds like we're a broken down car and absolutely worthless. No, when we go to heal things, we're just realizing, oh, this is a pain inside of me. It's like pulling out a splinter, okay? The splinter hurts and hurts and hurts. It makes you cranky. It makes you want to just roar at people. But once you pull it out and you get that tender loving care by just rubbing on it and going, it'll be okay, you start to feel better, right? This is the same thing. It's just your pain is a splinter. So, give yourself permission to let people in. Having a support group is amazing. Having a support group and a person who loves you trying to support you is probably even better. I see a lot of people. I have a friend who's in a relationship, and she had a lot of triggers from a previous relationship, and this guy comes into her life and he walks her through it. I mean, he is a gentleman. One of the gentlemen and a scholar. He is a gentleman. He is patient. He is kind. And it is so beautiful to see. It is so beautiful to watch how they interact with each other. And they're in a long distance relationship. So, wow. The fact that works along with this other stuff. They communicate every day. They text, they talk, they FaceTime, they do all this stuff. They see each other when they can. But when these moments happen, because, that's a lot of trust that you have to have when you're building a relationship and you're not in the same place. And they have done it. They've done it. I believe they'll be together 3 years this year, 3 years this June. I'm pretty sure it's 3 years. Wow. So see, and I know that eventually, there is a planned move for her to move where he is. So, it's just, you know how those logistics and stuff go. So give yourself permission to let people in. And I was very proud of her for letting, somebody in. And I was even more proud of her for being receptive to, what he has to say as well while he tries to help her through her healing. So, ask for love with all your heart and soul, and it will come. If you choke hold an idea too hard, it is not going to happen. It is going to take forever. It is going to take its time because you want it so bad and so hard that you're not giving it the space to grow. You're not giving your higher powers or the universe that wiggle room for this or something better. So, ask for it, and then, like a little balloon, let it go. Okay, and please, in real life, do not let balloons go. It is bad for the environment. So, I mean, I know it looks pretty, and I think we used to think it was great, but Mylar balloons can blow out power lines, and regular nylon balloons, sometimes they float into the ocean, and they, our sea life can actually choke on it. So, please be careful with that, and please do not do it. I know, taking all the fun out of life, right? So, blow bubbles, okay? Just blow bubbles. Look for something beautiful in every person you encounter, and focus on feeling good whenever you see people loving each other, and know this is coming to you in a form of a love of a lifetime or an incredible friendship. Friendships are fun. I would be lost without mine. I don't know, ever since COVID, my group of friends seem to have just everybody just kind of went in their own directions. I mean, we all still talk to each other on Facebook and everything, but incredible friendships are worth it too. Sometimes you're going to get into a relationship and it's not going to work out and you're just going to be friends. And that's okay. That's okay. If you can do that. Some people can't, but some people do. Some people go, ooh, you know what? We just work better as friends. And I've seen people do it. I've seen people become best friends, and support each other on their move towards, their actual, what does it say here? Your love of a lifetime. So, but keep your heart open for that love of a lifetime. All right. So here's the action. Focus on your heart. Take some slow, deep breaths. Count to 2 in and 4 out. Or like, I had to take older sibling to the ER this weekend, and she had to get a breathing treatment, and the doctor, I don't know what they call them, the one that takes care of the lungs and all that stuff, he tells her, smell the roses, or smell the flowers, blow out the birthday candles. And I really loved the way that sounded. It was so pretty and so unique. It was just kind of like, smell the flowers, blow out the birthday candles. And he says the breath in should be a little bit shorter than the breath out. All right. So take some slow, deep, excuse me. I'm so sorry, you guys. This has been the perspective from hell. Lots of good info here, in my opinion, and these are all my opinions. This is my guidance, my opinions, but if anything could go wrong today or this week on any show, it's going to happen today. So anyways, focus on your heart. Take slow, deep breaths. Imagine unlocking the door to your heart. What does your heart... I am so sorry. Oh my God, forgive me. Anyways, what does your heart look like? Is it cold, frozen, and dark? You know what? This is funny. I have been talking all this time, and once I get to the action of this, all of a sudden I'm choking. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I think it's psychosomatic. I know, I really do. I talked about struggling in intimacy and, all this relationship stuff. And, when you do this exercise now, it's trying to teach you how to open yourself up to something amazing. And every time I read something, you notice, imagine unlocking the door to your heart is where I started choking. So I really do think it's psychosomatic. I don't think I'm choking on anything else because I have been talking for over half an hour now. And the minute we get to this, that's where it happens. So I'm going to let that go. We're going to free that now. So take some slow, deep breaths. Imagine unlocking the door to your heart. What does your heart look like? Is it cold, frozen, and dark? Or is it full of warmth, light, and sweetness? If it is cold and gray, imagine melting the coldness with yellow light. Imagine the sun, if that makes it easier. Who do you need to communicate with so that your heart can heal? Imagine that this person is in front of you now. Say what you need to share without holding back. Now step into their shoes and answer back from the highest place within them. Give yourself permission to experience an open heart. Every time you want to close your heart, take some deep breaths and choose to keep it open, even if it hurts. So, if there has been trauma, just, and you don't have to face somebody if you don't want to. You can just talk to yourself and say, who do you need to communicate with so that your heart can heal? You can just look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, you know what? I'm in charge of my healing. I'm in charge of being the one that has gratitude, trust, faith, and joy in whatever it is that I am trying to achieve here. And even if it's this version of self-love, so I can love somebody else and be open to accepting and loving somebody else, you may need to say that. And like as an example, who do you need to communicate with so that your heart can heal? Shelley Marie, who do you need to communicate? Maybe it's myself. So what can I do to remove the feeling and the overpowering fear of rejection and intimacy? In which case, now it says, now step into their shoes and answer back from the highest place within them. If it's me, just say, look, you have worked so hard to get where you are at right now. Don't you feel you deserve the chance to experience something amazing, something beautiful? Don't fear rejection. Don't fear intimacy. You know what it's like to be on your own. And you know that no matter what happens, you're going to survive that and you're going to be okay. But if you want something, you have to be able to be open to receiving it, and you have to be able to be open to accepting it. Okay? And then here we go. Give yourself permission to experience an open heart. I give myself permission to be loved. And I give myself permission to love somebody without worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow or in the next moment. To take it one moment at a time, one step at a time, one day at a time. Every relationship, especially in the beginning, should just be taken one day at a time. Don't think so far into the future that you freak yourself out or you scare yourself, because you're only shooting yourself in the foot. All right? You're not doing anybody any favors, especially you. So, give yourself that grace, that compassion. Every time you want to close your heart, take some deep breaths and choose to keep it open, even if it hurts. And I'm going to add to that, even if it scares you, because that's how we learn to trust ourselves. Trust, communication, and compromise can be done with yourself. Give the baby steps, right? Just say, okay, well, maybe I'll try this today and see what happens. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. Know that you did that. I know I have a lot of friends that think that eating by themselves is just totally weird. And I used to think so until I did it for the first time. And I have to tell you, taking myself out on a date is so much fun. You don't feel like you have to, I don't know. I mean, if you're having a good time with somebody, it doesn't really matter, but it can be so fun because, you're doing all the things and experiencing all the things, but you're doing it by yourself. If I take myself out, a lot of times I'll bring a book or a journal, and I sit and people watch. And, so it can be fun. I go to the movies all the time by myself. I actually, if you're a talker, do not come to the movie with me. Okay. But, I don't mind going with other people, but I just, older sibling and I have very different interests. And a lot of times, we do have some movies that we like to go see together, but a lot of times there are movies that I just go by myself. And, or just because I choose to. Maybe it's just something I come up with a spur of the moment and think, I'm going to go to the movies today. So love entails everything. Love is a big universe of all different kinds of ideas, all different forms of things. There's a lot of people who express their love and intimacy in a lot of different ways. There's just, there's no judgment from me. But what I do want is for people who struggle with the rejection and the intimacy, who struggle with opening their hearts because maybe they've had their heart broken, or maybe they've, been hurt so many times they just feel that it's not worth it. If you leave your heart open to receive, and you leave it open with a lot of that trust, you are going to receive something back that is worthwhile, that is beautiful. Take those chances, guys. I'm terrible at it, so I'm just going to have to probably trip into a relationship in order to be with one, because, if you're a fan of Big Bang Theory, I really kind of have the same issue that Raj has. I struggle to talk with people because I just feel like I'm not interesting enough. Or that they're going to think I'm stupid or dumb or just, like, oh my God, so I do struggle with that. And it's something I'm working on. So hopefully over the next 2 days, that self-love card is going to come up. We'll figure, I don't know if it's today or tomorrow or the next day. So whenever it does, I'm sure I'll get a lesson out of that. All right. So have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your patience during this live. It has been a little crazy at the end, but, you never know what you're going to get with a live. All right. So again, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. All lives are public under the Aloha Perspective. You can click and follow my page, or you can follow me on YouTube as well, where I do upload this video for later under the Aloha Perspective. I also have a TikTok version of this show. Not the Oracle, just the regular, chitty chat ones. And that's also under the Aloha Perspective. All right. And those are the short versions. Those are the ones I call the drive-through versions. So yeah, have a great day, everybody. Thank you again. And again, thank you so much for your patience. Have a great day.